Hello students, I hope all of you are doing very well. Welcome to my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. In this video we are going to study standard 10th science chapter 2. Okay, acids, bases and salts. First we will see the introduction, then we will see section 2.1, that is understanding the chemical properties of acids and bases. Okay, then in section 2.1.1 we will see the acids and bases in the laboratory. Okay, there one table is given and in that table some formulas for acids and bases are given. I request you all to memorize it. It will help you further. Okay, then we will see section 2.1.2, that how do acids and bases react with metals. Okay, then section 2.1.3, that is how do metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates react with acids. Okay, whether you say metal hydrogen carbonates or whether you say metal bicarbonates, both are same. Okay, then we will study section 2.1.4, that is how do acids and bases react with each other. Okay, at the starting of this chapter we will see that when a person suffers with acidity because of overeating, okay, we give them a solution of base, so that when acids and base react with each other, they nullify the effect of each other. Okay, so here in this section, that is section 2.1.4, we will see that how does acids and base react with each other. Okay, what really happens and what may be the product of this reaction. Okay, then in section 2.1.5 we will see reaction of metallic oxides with acids, and the next one, section 2.1.6, we will see about reaction of non-metallic oxides with bases. Okay, this is the first part of chapter 2 and this is the fifth video of standard 10th science. The first four videos are for chapter 1. So if you have missed that, you can see it from my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. Okay, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification. And I request you all that if you have any doubt related to this video, okay, you can ask your questions, your queries, your comments in the comment section of this video. Okay, the person who will ask the best innovative question will get something from me, a reward. It may be a gift voucher or gift hamper or a goodie from me. Okay, while you are commenting your question, please mention your name, your place of living and your school's name. Okay, the question and session will happen on every Sunday, okay, in evening. Okay, fine. So let us start on today's class. That is the first part of chapter 2, acids, bases and salts. Alright, so let us start our today's class. Okay, this is the first video for chapter 2, acids, bases and salts. In my channel Pratik Singh Classes, this is the fifth video for standard 10th science. The first four videos are for first chapter. Fine, so let us start our today's class. Here we will need some basic topics of standard 9. Okay, if you have forgotten, not a problem. Okay, we will see it, we will revise it as much as possible. Fine. You have learned in the previous classes that the sour and bitter taste of foods are due to acids and bases respectively present in them. Okay, that means that in previous classes you have seen or you have studied in science that whenever you taste anything, if the taste is sour, okay, it is because of presence of acid, and if the taste is bitter, it is because of bases present in that edible thing. If someone in your family is suffering from problem of acidity after overeating, okay, like suppose any of your family member, okay, if something has cooked very well earlier and has eaten more than the need, okay, will suffer from acidity. Okay, so in that situation, what will you give as a remedy? Lemon juice, vinegar or baking soda solution? Okay, first of all you should know what is the meaning of acidity, and when it happens, what should be given as a medicine to nullify its bad effects. Okay, we know the property first, that alright, which property did you think of while choosing the remedy? Means while you have to give the remedy for acidity, what property will you think? Okay, acidity means in the stomach there happened some secretion of acid in high amount, okay, and the person is suffering from stomach pain. Okay, so in that situation, what are the things we will think as a remedy? surely you must use the knowledge that ability of acids and bases to nullify each other's effect. Okay, in previous class, in class 9th, we studied that when acids and bases react together, they nullify the reaction of each other. That means they nullify or they remove the reaction of each other. Okay, so in that situation, if the person is suffering from stomach pain or that acidity, you must give him a base, so that when it will reach to his stomach, there the acid and base will react together and nullify each other's effect. Recall how we tested sour and bitter substances without testing them. Okay, in class 9th you have studied that with the help of color change in litmus paper, we can find out whether the given substance is acidic or basic without testing it. You already know that acids are sour in taste and change the color of blue litmus to red. Okay, whereas bases are bitter and change the color of red litmus to blue. So always remember that when blue litmus will change to red in color, okay, it shows the presence of acid, and when here red changes to blue, okay, it shows the presence of acid. Okay, so in this way we can find out what is the taste, okay, without actually tasting it. Litmus is a natural indicator. Okay, turmeric is another such indicator. With the help of turmeric powder, okay, or turmeric paste, we can also find out whether the given substance is acidic or basic. Have you noticed that a stain of curry on a white cloth becomes reddish brown when soap, which is basic in nature, is scrubbed on it? Means if suppose you have got a dark stain of curry last night, and when you put that cloth in detergent soap or in detergent powder solution, okay, first that place where you have got that stain will convert into reddish brown, okay, and then because of soap action it will wash out. Okay, here it turns yellow again when cloth is washed with plenty of water. Okay, first it will turn to reddish brown, then again yellow. Okay, you can also use synthetic indicators such as methyl orange and phenolphthalein to test for acids and bases. So these are also the indicators which show whether the substance or whether the given solid or liquid is acidic in nature or basic in nature. Okay, methyl orange and phenolphthalein are also such kinds of indicators. Okay, in this chapter we will study the reactions of acids and bases, how acids and bases cancel out each other's effect, and many more interesting things that we use and see in our day-to-day life. Okay, here a very good knowledge is given. Okay, do you know litmus solution is purple dye which is extracted from lichens, a plant belonging to the division Thallophyta, and is commonly used as an indicator. Okay, when litmus solution is neither acidic nor basic, its color is purple. Okay, so when we have this litmus solution and it is neither acidic nor basic, it will show purple color, as you can see the dark space here on the screen. There are many other natural materials like red cabbage leaves, turmeric, colored petals of some flowers such as hydrangea, petunia and geranium, which indicates the presence of acids or bases in a given solution. Okay, so these are simply the natural acid base indicators. Okay, or sometimes simply indicators they are being said. Okay, all right. So now coming to section 2.1, that is understanding the chemical properties of acids and bases. Okay, in our previous unit we have studied about reactions and equations. Now we will study about same thing in some detailed manner in case of acids and bases. All right. All right, acids and bases in laboratory. Activity 2.1. Collect following samples from science laboratory. The things are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, then acetic acid, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. All right. These all things are easily available in every school science laboratory, and also the formulas which are given here, you have to memorize it by heart, like what is the formula of sodium hydroxide NaOH, like nitric acid HNO3, then calcium hydroxide CaOH2. Okay, please remember these formulas. Okay, put a drop of each of the above solutions in a watch glass and test with a drop of following indicators. Means you have to take a watch glass for all of them and put a drop of each in every in separate watch glasses. Okay, and then use these following indicators. Okay, like when you put red litmus solution in each of them, what has happened, whether the color has changed or not. When you have put blue litmus solution, what has happened, phenolphthalein solution and methyl oil solutions, whether the color has changed or not, whether any kind of smell is coming, any kind of fume is coming, temperature changed, and a lot of other things. Okay, what change in color did you observe with litmus, red litmus, blue litmus, phenolphthalein and methyl oil solution for each of the solutions taken? Okay, and fill it in this table 2.1. all right. Okay, so now coming to next, these indicators tell us whether a substance is acidic or basic by change in color. Okay, we know very well that, as we have seen earlier here, that when here where is that, blue litmus changes to red, it is the taste of acid, and when red litmus changes to blue, it is a taste of base. Okay, same thing, something different will happen with different types of indicators, but there must happen the change in color. There are some substances whose odor changes in acidic or basic media. Okay, and these are called olfactory indicators. Ola means a smell. So sometimes it happens that when you add some indicators in any acid or a base, okay, it will give you some bad odor. Okay, the smell of the thing will change. Let us try some more indicators. Take some finely chopped onions in a plastic bag along with some strips of clean cloth. Okay, tie up the bag tightly and leave overnight in the fridge. Okay, chop off the onions. Okay, then first fill that in the strips of cloth and then put that into the plastic bag. Okay, in a refrigerator for overnight. The cloth strips can now be used to test for acids and bases. Okay, what will happen in overnight is that the cloth will absorb the juice of finely chopped onions, and then it can be used as an indicator. Okay, take 2 of these cloth strips and check their odor. Okay, you will see that their smell or their odor has changed. Keep them on a clean surface and put few drops of dilute hydrochloric solution on one strip and few drops of dilute sodium hydroxide solution on the other. What will you see? Whether it has changed its color or whether some odor of different type has come. Now rinse both cloth strips with water and again check their odor. Okay, so on one cloth strip you have put sodium hydroxide solution and the other you have put hydrochloric solution. Okay, after that rinse it and wash it with water and see whether it is giving you the same odor or the odor of the cloth has changed. What are your observations? Now take some dilute vanilla essence and clove oil and check their odor. Vanilla essence is easily available in market, and clove oil, it is these days available in every home. Okay, it is easily available in a market. Take some dilute hydrochloric acidic solution in one test tube and dilute sodium hydroxide solution in another. Add a few drops of dilute vanilla essence to both these test tubes and shake well. Okay, and now check whether the odor of vanilla has changed or it is same like the earlier. Okay, and record it in your notebook. Okay, similarly taste the change in odor of clove oil with dilute hydrochloric and dilute sodium hydroxide solution and record your observations, whether the smell is same like earlier or whether it has changed. Okay, whether it became good or became bad. Okay, which of these, vanilla, onion and clove, can be used as olfactory indicators or on the basis of your observations? Okay, the one which will give you a very nice smell. Okay, means that you can smell it from a long distance. Okay, that type of indicator can be said as very good olfactory indicators. Let us do some more activities to understand the chemical properties of acids and bases. See, in your CBSE syllabus in science book, a lot of activities are given. Okay, don't skip any activity because it will help you to understand the things. These activities are mainly written to do in your science lab, but most of the schools they just skip it. How do acids and bases react with metals? Okay, this is going to be very interesting. Okay. That whenever you have given a metal, okay, like iron or copper bars, okay, and when you dip that iron bar or copper bar into an acid or into a basic solution, okay, what will change, how it will change, whether something happen or not. Now, for doing this activity, you need teacher's assistant. Teacher must be present in the lab to do in front of you, so that in any wrong situation the teacher can handle you and make you safe first. Okay, the apparatus is shown in figure 2.1. so this is apparatus as shown. Okay, as it is given here, this is just iron stand. Okay, where in the clamp one test tube is fixed, which is fitted with a cork. Okay, then from this cork a delivery tube is fitted, which goes to a beaker which is filled with soap solution, and here some gases are coming out, okay, which bursts, okay, when it is burned. And in this test tube there are some dilute sulfuric acid and zinc granules. Okay, this same apparatus setup we have seen in first unit if you have seen the video, but not a problem, we will see here in some different manner. Take about 5 milliliter of dilute sulfuric acid in a test tube and add a few pieces of zinc granules to it. Okay, zinc granules to it means very small pieces of zinc, like pebbles. Okay, what we observe on the surface of zinc granules, you will see that some bubbles have started coming out. Okay, it is just like soda water, that when you pour soda water, okay, you can see the bubbles are coming from the bottom. Okay, same thing will happen here, that on the surface of zinc granules some bubbles will stick, and further when it will become bigger it will come out, okay, and can be collected. Okay, why are the bubbles pass the gas being evolved through the soap solution? Okay, as you can see here, with the help of delivery tube, these gas here emerged, passes through the soap bubble. Okay, why soap bubble? Because soap bubbles will make soap solution will make bubbles here, which can show that a gas is coming here. Okay, why are bubbles formed in soap solution? What is the reason here? Take a burning candle. Okay, just a minute. All right, now take a burning candle near the gas filled bubble. Okay, so while you are doing this burning candle experiment in here, okay, please always stay safe, stay that burning candle as far as possible from you, and there must be teacher available next to you. Okay, what do you observe? You will see that the bubbles burst with a pop sound. Repeat this activity with some more acids like hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, acetic acid. Okay, are the observations in all the cases same or different? Whether you get the gas here, okay, same or in same quantity, or some reaction happens or doesn't happen, whether the rate of reaction is faster or slower than this one. Okay, so all these things you have to observe. If you use some different gases here, we have different acids here. Okay, here the gas involved is the hydrogen gas. All right, note that the metal in the above reactions displaces hydrogen from the acids. Okay, so this is an example of displacement reaction, as acid plus metal makes salt plus hydrogen gas. Okay, and also later we will see that it may be oxidation and reduction also. The seen gas here is hydrogen gas. The metal combines with remaining part of the acid and forms a compound called salt. Okay, so this is called as metal salt. Thus, the reaction of metal with an acid can be summarized in word equation like acid plus metal makes salt plus hydrogen gas. Okay, so here hydrogen gas has come out from acid, and you know very well that in any reaction, if the reactant reacts with oxygen, okay, or oxygen is added or hydrogen removes, then it is said to be oxidized. So here the available acid is being oxidized, and metal, okay, here it reacts with the remaining part, so it is being reduced. Okay, we will see it later. Can you write the equation for the reactions you have observed? Now activity 2.4. Place a few pieces of granulated zinc metal in test tube. Very good. Okay. Add 2 milliliter solution hydroxide, sodium hydroxide solution, and warm the content in the test tube. Okay. Next, repeat the rest of the step as in activity 2.3 and record your observation. Okay, same thing we have to do. Okay, instead of here in this activity we have taken sulfuric acid, we have to take sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, and then we have to use the same zinc granules, and you have to find out whether zinc granules have reacted in the same way or in different way, or whether the reaction has really happened or not. Okay, the reaction takes place can be written as follows: NaOH plus Zn makes Na2ZnO2 plus H2. Okay, this is a complete balanced equation. In first unit we have studied how to balance a chemical equation. Fine. So here, as you can see that from NaOH hydrogen comes out. That means here sodium hydroxide is being oxidized. Okay, and zinc reacts with NaOH and makes Na2ZnO2. Okay, so here zinc gets some, you can say, electrons, so it is being reduced. Okay, about oxidation and reduction we will see again in unit 3. Okay, but let me say you once again that in any reaction, if oxygen is added, hydrogen is removed, or electrons removed, are called as oxidation reaction. And in any reaction, if oxygen removes or hydrogen is being added or electrons are added, it is called as reduction reaction. Oxidation and reduction reactions happen simultaneously. Okay, so here you can see we have got sodium zincate plus hydrogen gas, and this hydrogen gas can be tested by burning it. Okay, you find again the hydrogen is formed in the reaction. However, such reactions are not possible with all metals. Okay, because different metals have different reactivity. Okay, how do metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates react with acid? Okay, at the place of hydrogen carbonates you can also write bicarbonate. Okay, let us do this activity once again. Before going to the activity, let us see figure 2.2. what are things given here. So we have an iron stand, we have a big test tube. Okay, and here in the test tube we have dilute hydrochloric acid HCl, then sodium carbonate. Okay, then carbon dioxide gas is being involved. Okay, then we have thistle funnel. Okay, stand, cork, then delivery tube, then test tube, and in the test tube we have some product like calcium hydroxide solution. Alright, so let us see once again what are the things given in activity 2.5. Take two test tubes, label them A and B. Okay, so as you can see here, this one is A and the other which is in the hand is B. Okay, take about 0.5 gram of sodium carbonate Na2CO3 in test tube A, and about 0.5 gram of sodium hydrogen carbonate NaHCO3 in test tube B. Alright, add 2 milliliter of dilute hydrochloric acid to both of the test tubes. What do you observe? Okay, so this activity is not of this figure. I hope so. Let us see what is given here. So in first test tube you have put sodium carbonate, and second you have taken sodium bicarbonate, okay, or sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, and in both we have poured 2 milliliter of hydrochloric acid. Okay, what is the observation? Pass the gas produced in each case through lime water, that is calcium hydroxide. Lime water is also called as calcium hydroxide. Okay, as shown in figure 2.2 and record observation. Oh, you have this activity is related to figure 2.2. So same thing we have to do with both the test tubes. So here, as you can see, in test tube A, carbon dioxide gas is formed and it is taken out with the help of delivery tube. And in test tube B, we have here, in first situation we have sodium carbonate, and second situation we have sodium bicarbonate. Okay, and when the carbon dioxide gas will pass through them, okay, you have to shake it well, okay, so that the gas and the liquid mixes, and we have to find what are the observations. Okay, the above reactions are as follows. Okay, in test tube A, when you have taken sodium carbonate in solid form, okay, plus hydrochloric acid in aqueous form, okay, as you can see in test tube A here, okay, it has made sodium chloride in aqueous solution plus liquid water plus carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so here carbon dioxide gas has evolved, okay, water has been made, and common salt has been made in aqueous solution. In test tube B, we have sodium bicarbonate, where it reacts with hydrochloric acid, okay, it makes sodium chloride plus water in liquid form plus carbon dioxide gas. On passing carbon dioxide gas evolved through lime water, we will see that here CaOH2, that is lime water plus CO2 makes CaCO3, okay, plus H2O. CaCO3 will form as a precipitate, okay. Calcium carbonate will form as a white precipitate and fall below the bottom of the test tube. Alright, once again, on passing excess carbon dioxide, okay, the following reaction takes place. Calcium carbonate plus H2O plus CO2, it makes sodium bicarbonate, okay, and it is not a precipitate. This is a solution or which contains aqueous sodium bicarbonate. That means here you will get a solution, okay, we will not get any kind of precipitate. Okay, so as we have seen, if you if you compare the previous equation, okay, this one and this equation, you will see here that when we had excess of carbon dioxide, okay, that calcium carbonate has converted into calcium bicarbonate. Okay, now limestone, chalk and marble are different forms of calcium carbonate. They are calcium carbonate but in different forms. All metal carbonates and hydrocarbonates react with acids to give a corresponding salt, carbon dioxide and water. So this is very important. You have to memorize it in any way. Okay, that metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, when they react with acid, they make metal salt, carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so thus the reaction can be summarized as follows. Metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate plus acid makes salt, that is metal salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. Okay, so this word equation you have to memorize it anyway. Okay, this question may be asked in one mark question, or this question may be asked that in some innovative way, that a metal A is taken with, it is mixed with acid B, and what may be the products. Okay, in 2 mark question it may be asked. Now coming to section 241, that is how do acids and bases react with each other. Okay, earlier when we have started this unit, we have seen there that if the person is suffering from acidity, we give that person a base, so that the acid and base will nullify the presence of each other and the person will get relief. Okay, same thing we will study here in deep. Okay, that how do acids and bases react and nullify each other. All right, first of all we will see activity 2.6. all right, take about 2 milliliter of dilute sodium hydroxide solution in a test tube and add 2 drops of phenolphthalein solution. Okay, so what you have to do here is, in a test tube, take dilute sodium hydroxide solution, means sodium hydroxide plus water. Whenever you have the word dilute or concentrated written. Okay, dilute means in the solution, okay, the content of water is higher, okay, than the real substance, and in concentrated solution the amount of water will be very less. Okay, like when we say sulfuric acid, okay, dilute sulfuric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid means the amount of water will be more than the sulfuric acid, and concentrated sulfuric acid means the amount of water will be very less as compared to the amount of sulfuric acid. Okay, so we have to take here 2 ml of dilute sodium hydroxide solution, okay, and few drops of phenolphthalein solution. Okay, what is the color of solution? Okay, once you mix these two solutions, what may be the color? Okay, add dilute hydrochloric solution to the above solution drop by drop. Okay, now you have to add, okay, hydrochloric solution again in dilute form in the solution of aqueous NaOH and phenolphthalein solution. Okay, is there any color change for the reaction mixture happen? Why did the color of phenolphthalein change after the addition of an acid? Okay, so here why does it happen that phenolphthalein has changed, okay, the color when acid was added? Now add again few drops of sodium hydroxide in the same mixture. You will see that pink color of phenolphthalein has reappeared. Okay, first the phenolphthalein colors will disappear. Okay, then again it will reappear when the amount of sodium hydroxide will increase. Why do you think this has happened? Okay, in first, when the concentration of NaOH has decreased, okay, the color of phenolphthalein has faded away. Okay, and when again the concentration of NaOH has increased, the color of phenolphthalein has come back, that pink color. In the above activity, we have observed that the effect of a base is nullified by an acid and vice versa. The reaction taking place can be written as sodium hydroxide plus hydrochloric acid. It gives NaCl in aqueous form plus H2O liquid. Okay. The reaction between an acid and a base to give a salt and water is known as a neutralization reaction. Okay, so whenever you have an acid and a base, and when if they react, okay, they will make a salt and water, and this type of reaction is called as neutralization reaction because acid and base both neutralizes each other. Okay. In general, a neutralization reaction can be written like this: base plus acid makes salt and water. Okay. Now coming to section 2.1.5, that is reaction of metallic oxide with acids. Okay. Let us first do activity 2.7. Okay. Take a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker and add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly while stirring. Okay, so that it should mix very well. And now note the color change of the solution. Okay, what has happened here with copper oxide? You will see that color of the solution become blue green and copper oxide dissolves. Okay, copper oxide is available here in the form of small granules or in powder form, and it will dissolve in the solution. Here the blue-green color of the solution is due to the formation of copper 2 chloride, okay, in the reaction. So in general we can write that whenever metal oxide reacts with an acid, okay, it makes salt and water. Okay, so this thing, metal oxide plus acid makes salt plus water. Okay, this is an example of metallic salt, okay, or simply called as salt. Okay, now write the equation with balanced form for the above equation for above reaction. Since metallic oxide react with acids to give salt and water, similar to the reactions of base with an acid, metallic oxides are said to be basic oxides also. So whenever you see any kind of metallic oxide, okay, it is basic in nature. Okay, now reaction of non-metallic oxides with bases. Okay, what will the product, whether the color will change or whether it will remain the same? You saw the reaction between carbon dioxide and calcium hydroxide in activity 2.5, and what has happened there? We have got calcium carbonate. Calcium hydroxide, which is a base, reacts with carbon dioxide to produce salt and water. Since this is similar to the reaction between a base and an acid, we can conclude that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So always remember that metallic oxides are basic oxides and non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Okay, so this is all about the section which we have studied here, that is about where is that presence of acid and base. Alright, so today we have studied that how do acids and bases react with metal. Okay, then we have seen some activities. Okay, then we have seen some equations in balanced form. Then we have seen how do acids and bases react with each other. Okay, then reaction of metallic oxides with acid, and after that we have seen reaction of non-metallic oxides with base. Okay, in next video we will study section 2.2, that is what do all acids and all bases have in common. Okay, this is going to be very important, and also you have to memorize a lot of terms. Okay, so till my next video, take care of yourself. But before ending this video, I request you all to please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification. Till next video, take care of yourself. Bye bye.